Susul. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. It's another bonus episode, y'all.
Yay. And considering it's me, Ava, and Vanity, you could probably guess it's probably going to be Mass Effect or Dragon Age related. So
You're
today it's
welcome.
Mass Effect related.
And we have a very special guest.
Yeah, we do.
Introduce yourself, guest.
I'm the roommate, Addis.
I'm the roommate. This is Addis. He's my roommate. If you ever listen to the episodes and you hear me, I think at the beginning of ones, before we were able, I remember to mute my mic, it would be like me chuckling or yeah, because she just like slinks in the background when I record. Tries to make as less noise as possible, but she looks really creepy while she does it. It's whatever.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, so today, because last bonus episode we talked about, it was like, we're going to do Dragon Age and Mass Effect. And it was just Dragon Age.
Yeah, give me like 2 seconds. I need to go and chase my cat away from my cake. Hang on.
Go! No cats, no cakes, no cats and cakes. No one wants a cat and a cake. Because cat cakes aren't very tasty. I don't think you want a cat cake. All the fur is not good for the frosty. It gets stuck in your teeth. And cat cakes aren't that tasty.
They are precious
unless
little shits.
They're made of fish.
All right. I have returned.
Okay, there was a song in there.
Oh? Damn, I missed it.
It's okay. Whoever
Dorian, Tally, you guys made me miss the song. God damn it.
It was about the cat cake, so it's okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Anywho.
But yes, you may have already deduced that I am a fan of Mass Effect because I named one of my cats Tally. So there's that.
And I'm just going to assume Dorian's named after. It's
Yep.
not. He's after good old Dorian.
His
Good
full
choice.
name is Dorian Pavus, but spelled Pawvs.
Yes.
Because I am that nerd.
Look, Dorian is one of my favorite characters, right behind Varric, and one of my friends named her son Varric. Because of Dragon Age.
That's a good name. That's gonna be a good strong man one day with just luxurious chest hair.
And the gift of gab.
Oh yeah, just gonna be able to
tells a
charm
good story.
everyone. And he already lives in Texas, so he already has like a good thing with like projectiles and shit, right?
He actually lives in Virginia, but same thing.
Oh, close
enough.
Same thing. I don't know, man. It's the United States. For me, it's guns everywhere.
Everybody's just walking around like shooting guns.
It's a shootout every day. Yeah.
Every
They're
day.
like, pew pew, motherfucker, pew pew. It's not that.
Does not compute in my brain, but I mean, I had to get a fucking permit to get an airsoft gun, but okay.
Are you shitting me?
No.
A permit? Like, did you have?
Before.
Did you have? Who did you? Who did you get the permit from? The government?
From the police. My local police. I had to go and do an interview and everything.
I'm picturing like a Nerf gun. Like what?
No, but my dad was in a gun club, and they had a youth division as well, and we started with airsoft, but like the professional airsoft guns, like not just like pop, carnival guns, but like really good caliber, as in you could actually kill someone with this airsoft gun.
Like a BB gun?
Kinda, with like the little leads in it, but with real power behind them, like not the kind you win at a fair.
Okay.
It was I got it at a gun store, and then about a year later I got a permit that I could use live ammo, but because I was underage, I could not transport it. It was always my dad who had to like carry the case and stuff, and I had to go to the police and do an interview. And he was like, are you mad at anyone? I'm like, I'm 15. I'm mad at everyone. It's like, okay, are you going to use that gun to shoot anyone? It's like, if I was planning to do that, you really think I would tell you? And he just looked at me and he's like, yeah, you're Martin's daughter, all right. I'm just going to go ahead and approve this. Like, thank you.
I just love it. He was like, are you mad at anyone?
I was like, I am a teenager. I am literally mad at the world, but go off, I guess. But yeah, that's how you get guns, or at least got guns in Belgium, because then, you know, somebody decided to be a fucking extreme right piece of shit and take a sawed-off shotgun into town and kill a toddler, so that was great.
When was this?
Oh god, years ago.
You said he killed a toddler?
Yeah, he went to.
Was that his goal?
He actually shot at her nanny, who was a Muslim woman, I think. She got hurt, but he also hit the toddler, and the toddler died. This guy was like 17 or 18 years old. Hans von Temse. He was, yeah, like neo-Nazi piece of crap. So that's when they like really tightened up the gun laws here, and now it's just practically impossible to get a gun for like sports purposes. You can get them on the black market, obviously. Like if you're a criminal, you're always going to have access to a gun, but it just means that people who want to use them for recreational purposes, it just gets really, really difficult. So not a lot of people want to try anymore. But yeah.
See what
we
happens?
Can't walk
one
into
person, one person walks into a thing and shoots one person.
That's what's shocking to me. I'm like, we've had so many.
I know.
So many. They're just like, it's about the stop the gun, and I'm like, all right, okay.
Yeah, no.
Well,
here
guns don't
it was
kill
like
people. People kill people.
Mm-hmm.
It was
So
like
what did he do,
basically
ban
this
people?
kid shouldn't have been able to get a gun, but what they didn't really think about was that he didn't get a gun in a legal way. So even if you had all these like extreme rules and stuff, he still would have been able to get the gun. It's like people who want to get a gun for nefarious purposes are always going to be able to get one. So yeah, they tightened up the rules. So I guess it is better like when it comes to like domestic violence and situations like that, for sure. Because it's like you have to, when you keep the gun at home, it can't be loaded. It has to be in a safe, and it has to be separated from the ammunition. And they do check on that regularly. When my dad still owned his guns, he got surprise checks like a couple times a year to make sure that everything was in order, that all the weapons that he had were registered, and that everything was put away the way it should be.
Could you imagine people getting surprise checks in their home to make sure that they're maintaining their weapons correctly?
No. And no. In Texas? No. Absolutely not.
You surprise check if you want to. They're going to surprise check your face.
No, here it was pretty strict. But still pretty strict. My dad actually stopped because of those regulations, because he's like, it's just impossible now for someone who does this for sport to really, you know, keep up with the regulations. But like there's some stuff that I'm definitely behind. Like if you have a felony or conviction or something, you can't own a gun. I think as well, if you got pulled over for a serious DUI, you're not allowed to have one. Stuff like that. I'm like, yes, people with a drinking problem should not own weapons. So that's good, but it also kind of sucks because I think the sport really took a dive, and I really enjoyed it. That was fun. That was a good way to blow off steam at the range, but yeah, now I can't do it anymore.
I mean, the ranges could just keep the guns. Ranges here have guns that you could rent out and use and give them back.
I don't know if I don't think our local range did that, but I think they had storage. Because that's where the cops went to practice as well.
Well, that's fun.
I'm still picturing Nerf guns. I'm sorry.
But now when I blow off steam, I just boot up Mass Effect and I go shoot some collectors. It's fine.
Get the Geth. Okay,
but that's actually Collectors is Mass Effect too.
Hey, we'll get there. Okay, so if you have never played Mass Effect before, first of all, I'm sorry. Second of all, they're coming out with a remaster in March,
Yes.
so this is a great
So
time for you to go ahead and listen to this, get your brain prepared, so you can buy the remaster collection in March, which I'll be doing.
Yes.
Okay. So, backstory. Mass Effect is set in the year 2183, which is 35 years after humans discovered the ruins of an ancient spacefaring race called the Protheans on Mars, because humans take shit.
I remember that name, the Protheans, because you're going to be
Yes.
hearing that a lot.
They're highly important. With the technology from these ruins, humanity learned the secrets of Mass Effect physics and Element Zero, unlocking faster than light travel. Humans also discovered the mass relay network that threaded the galaxy, permitting instantaneous passage across thousands of light years. Humanity began its journey among the stars, encountering various alien races and establishing itself on the galactic stage. So basically, humans are the last bitches out there.
Yep.
Like, we were like, we're going to Mars. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. And then we found some shit on there. We're like, what is this? Boop-a-doop-a-doop. And then after we finally figured it out what we to do with it, we encountered all these races who had already been like hanging out, being cool. We are like, can we be part of your group? And they're like, who are these?
They were like,
fleshy
fuck, they got
bitches?"
here. Shit.
Literally, because you know they knew about us. They're just like, no one go tap the Earth. No one go tap Earth.
No.
That's
This
the
is
dark
a bad
zone.
idea. All they do is fight each other. Just don't go there.
And then we
It's
found
like the
a new
elephant
way.
graveyard. Everything
Yes.
light touches in the galaxy is yours. Just don't go to the Milky Way.
So basically, when you start up Mass Effect 1, you are Commander Shepard. Commander Shepard is a meat suit. Commander Shepard can be whoever you want Commander Shepard to be. My Shepard has always been a girl. I always play girls. It's what I am. I'm a girl. It's what I do.
It was also one of the first RPGs where you could make that choice. Like a lot of these had like de facto male protagonists, and here you could choose. So a lot of women got into the series as well because hey, you could play as a girl. And also, I may be biased. I have played both, but I think Jennifer Hale does such
her
an
voice is
amazing job
amazing.
with her voice acting. I like Mike Mir is good, but she just gives it that little bit extra, and I just love her.
Yeah, I mean, it was so hard. Like looking at you, Halo and Metal Gear Solid, where you can only play as a dude. I don't want to. I mean, and I'm like, I pick my games as if I could be a girl. And Mass Effect was actually one of the first games I was it Mass Effect or Dragon Age? I think it was Mass Effect that I played all the way through. And then I was like, well, now I have something else to play. And then I found Dragon Age.
For me, it was the other way around. I finished Mass Effect first, I finished Dragon Age first, Origins at least. And then I got into Mass Effect because a friend of mine who also liked Dragon Age, she was like, well, have you heard of Mass Effect? And I was like, no. Oh, here, I have this CD for you. It's like, oh, thank you. So she let me borrow her copy for the Xbox, and I just fell in love.
Well, yeah, I finished Mass Effect, and then I went to GameStop, and I was like, "Hi, I played this game and I really liked it. What can I do now?" And they're like, "What? Have you heard of Dragon Age?" And I was like, "I have not." And then I was dead. I was done. It was over.
You said dragons. I'm into it. And then you only have like one dragon in the whole game, but it's fine.
And yes, in Origins, you only have one dragon. And it's a bitch.
It's like everybody was like, oh, the general joke was, oh, it's called Dragon Age, but there's only like 1 or 2 dragons in 1 and 2. Yeah, and then in 3 you got like 15 of them, and you're like, well, shit. Guess that monkey's paw really got me.
And I avoided every single one except for the one I had to kill.
Oh my god. The first time I ran into one was that one in the hinterlands, and I was not prepared. I got fireballed in the face so fast, and I just sat there like, what the fuck just happened?
You can lie.
Oh, dragon, okay.
Well, the worst part is like, because you get the one in the hinterlands, but like when you do encounter it, you're like level 5. So your ass rolls up in there, and you're just like, because you're trying to get those stupid shards. So you go in there, like, I'm going to get my, what the fuck?
Not worth it. Not worth it.
I zoomed the fuck out real quick. I was like, you know what I don't want? These fucking shards. I have to go.
Yeah. And like every time when you encounter a dragon as well, you're like, oh shit, no, I'm going to be coming back for you later, maybe. And then just, arcing around it real wide. But if you have Bull in your party, he'll just like instantly gets a boner and is like, boss, let's fight it. But fight it. Like, no, Bull, calm down. We'll come back later.
Like, he gets so excited. He's like, it's a dragon! And I was like, I know, dude. I'm backing the fuck out. Like, I don't have time for
Why do you think we're running? Come on, buddy.
You're going to die. Because his ass is like how I am when I play any kind of game. He's going to run in there like fucking mallet ablazing. And I'm like, come back, Bull.
Yeah, see, that's why I could never get it. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I have a bit of a confession now. I feel a bit like a fraud because you guys actually legitimately play the games. Now, I have this thing where I don't necessarily hold the controller and play per se.
That's also valid.
I treat the games like interactive movies, and so I'll whoever's playing. In the case of Mass Effect, it was my little brother. I did not trust him to make any sound decisions, and so and it started like everything starts. I'm kind of slinking in the background doing whatever, and I'm watching him, and next thing I know, like after 30 minutes of standing there, I'm like, all right, let me sit down and guide him.
It's like, are you sure you want to do that?
This turned into like a whole month of us like literally going to work or going to school, and then we reconvene at the house, and I'm like, all right, let's play. But really it's him playing, and I'm like, okay, go there.
Yep.
No, don't say this, say that. Don't romance this person. God damn it, what did I just say? Like, and then if I leave him alone, he'll try and go on this rampage of like making horrible decisions out of curiosity and thinks he can like cover it up. But he got smart enough to make these saves so that we can erase all of his decisions. And then the same kind of tradition happened with Van. When me and Van started living together, this was my introduction into Dragon Age, and it started all over again.
Let me tell you, she did that slinky thing in the background, and then because I think it was Inquisition, and she was like, "Well, what are you doing?" It's over here, and then I remember when she finally sat down was with the Chargers, and she was like, well, what are we gonna do? And I was like, I guess we have to get the thing on the boat. That's what the mission said. And
I was trying so hard not to be that person with Van. I'm like, let me make her, if she wants to jump up the side of this hill instead of take the path that's so obviously smooth and will get her to her destination.
Her frustration is hard.
Okay, but you have to understand, with Dragon Age, we couldn't jump at all for like 2 games. And then once we could, we just wanted to jump up everything. So
it was a crisscross video. She forever was jumping. Like it was, it made no sense. If she got on a horse, it's over. No path is the clear path. She makes all of her paths. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna walk away now. I've been standing here and watching her jump in the same spot for like 10 minutes. Let me walk away. And then I think I feel like it's happened before, but the Chargers one was the moment where I was like, no. We're sitting this one. Like I'm sitting down. We're gonna discuss this, and we did. I think.
Because the Chargers was when we discussed it, and because she had been watching before, so she'd been talking. We talked to the Chargers or whatever, and then we discussed it, and then we were like, okay, let's go ahead and do this, and then we sacrificed them, and Bull was so fucking defeated that we were promptly went back to a save, and like we never do that again.
It was this cutscene that happened, after the ship, I don't know, something blows up, or no, you see them getting descended on, and you're just like, what just happened, and the cutscene was like over.
That oh no moment.
And it was like the characters just kind of standing there waiting for you to move it, but we just sat there in like silence for a minute looking at each other, and I'm like, I don't feel good. And that was when we went to bed. Like we stuck with that decision because I'm over here like, no, it was a sound decision. It was the most logical decision. We had to have, and I'm like, yeah. But I felt horrific. The whole time. We go to bed. I'm tossing and turning.
I'm just over here like, what? Do you know how sad he was?
Yeah. I think the next
See,
day. Yeah.
that's why I'm also the person who's what people tell me, like, you can make the asshole decisions and you have no consequences. Like,
can't.
excuse me, no consequences? This character is super sad now. Like, yeah, but they're not real. How dare you?
Oh, so
Not real.
So pivoting back to Mass Effect, because we could do this. This is what happened last time. All right, so when you get in Mass Effect, because one of these decisions happens pretty early on in the game in Mass Effect too. So you get your Commander Shepard, and you're on the Normandy, and you have all your little. You're on a mission to recover some like beacon on Eden Prime because it wasn't like going off or something like that, and you encounter these fucking things called the Geth, and you're like, what the fuck? And then so the elite people, like, so the council is like all of the different races have promote one person to the council to like be their head, like be their like, what is
Like a
that thing
representative.
what is that thing that we have, the world something or another
Council, like
we have all the countries.
UN.
Like the
The
NATO?
UN, like the
Oh, the
UN.
UN.
Yes. So everybody has like their person that goes in, and the humans were trying to get a seat. They're like, "Hey, we're on this council, bitch!" Like, but they wanted to get us. So the council has a delegate called a Spectre, and the Spectre is like their like elite person, like whatever. And they're like, "We want to get a Spectre, the humans to have one." And they're like, "Okay, no." But one of the Spectres is one of the races is called the Turians, and I don't even know how to describe them.
Yeah, we spoke about those earlier. I think they're kind of based on birds, but like lizardy birds. It's weird
It's
to
so
explain.
weird. But
we have like a big war with them as well. That was the first contact war where we discovered that there were other species, and then the Turians kind of attacked because they're very into like military. They're a very like military society, and they were just like war. So that happened. So
and the humans were like, "Who the
bit...
fuck are you?"
Yep.
I guess we're fighting.
They were ready to go Independence Day on your asses, but it didn't happen.
I guess we're here. So there is a Spectre, the Turian Spectre. His name is Saren, like the gas. And so like one of the other Turians is, what is this, Garrus. He's like, bruh.
Yep.
Saren, and then even your commander, what's his name? What is the guy?
Presley? Oh, you mean Anderson?
Anderson. Even he's like, yeah, Saren's a sneaky bitch. Like, he's not in it for what you think he's in it for.
No.
And all the council's like, no, Saren's awesome. Saren would never. And then the Turian guy on the council's like, no, Saren's great. You're just being racist. And
yeah, the thing is, though, when the game first starts, you get sent down to a planet. I think it was Horizon, to a colony there, with another Turian Spectre called Nihilus. And we have to go and like look some shit up. Like there's a Prothean beacon that they found there. And Nihilus goes ahead without Shepard. He's like, no, I'm faster on my own. Okay, cool. Whatever. And he comes across, I think, when that beacon, or at least something close to it. I'm not sure. Or at least he's looking up something on the near the colony, and he runs into Saren, and he's like, "Oh, Saren, what the hell are you doing here? Oh, whatever. Hey, come check this out." And turns his back to him, and then Saren shoots him dead. And we find this out. No, Shepard finds this out and is like, "Whoa!" And then tells the council, and the council's like, "No, that's ridiculous. He would never." But he fucking did. And so, like, we know that he's doing something not good, that he's gone rogue, but the council doesn't believe us, and this is going to be a pattern.
We know it, and then your guy, who actually commands the Normandy, Anderson, he knows. We all know, but everybody one believes us because we're humans. So anyway, so we go down to Eden Prime, and
that's the one, Eden Prime.
We see good old Saren again, and So you're trying to like go and get everything together, and you also meet Ashley there. Ashley Williams is one of the, because Eden Prime was like fucking destroyed or something. Like they were
I think
being like attacked.
She's a gunnery sergeant, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're being attacked, and she runs up in her super cute outfit.
Okay, but if we're gonna talk about her, I think we first need to talk about Jenkins.
Oh, Jenkins! No, Jenkins!
Because like your first mission after all of the cutscenes, you touch down on Eden Prime with 2 people in your squad. That's always the build up. Like you're always going to be you and 2 people in your squad. And to start off, it's Caden and Jenkins.
Oh, and they're dicks because they make you spec up Jenkins.
Yeah, they make you spec everybody up, and then you literally take like 5 steps, and Jenkins that runs it and immediately gets shot, and you're like, well,
oh damn, it's
and I don't mean
brutal.
Get shot like ouchie, I'm gonna go back to the ship and like patch up my wounds. No, he dead.
It's brutal.
Like,
you're just like
super dead, and you're like, oh.
Fuck.
You have like 2 people in your squad. I'm like, cool. Wow, I have 2 people in my squad. I bet I'm really gonna have get a chance to get to know these characters. Not Jenkins. No. Literally gone in like the first 5 minutes. It's sweet baby Jenkins.
But again, the person like they make you spec them up. You guys are all chit chatting as you're walking through. Everything's great, and then he just fucking gets like just murdered, and you're just like, what the fuck? Why did you even exist?
Yep.
Like Mass Effect out the gate was just trying to make your life trash. But then after
it's like we can giveth, but we can taketh away.
Mass Effect is like Mass Effect is straight Game of Thrones. So Jenkins dies, and Caden's all like, Caden is a crybaby tit ass about a lot of things. Okay, like Caden Alenko is like this.
Don't you dare talk about my space husband like that.
I love Caden, I do, but he is like, okay, so he was like an orphan or something like that. I don't fucking know. And he was
no, he got sent to a biotic camp, and
yes,
he got fucking abused.
He did. He got sent because Caden has like bionic, because like I guess that he has the ability. He has like he's a biotic. He could do like magical powers, whatever. And he got abused.
But to be able to use those biotic powers, you need an implant in your head, and he and a couple of other kids got
the shitty one
given an experimental implant that was not great. And he got sent to like the special biotic camp, and they got abused there. And one of their instructors then broke a girl's arm or something, and he went nuts and accidentally killed the instructor.
And they're like, thing that happened. Hey, you have to boot scooting out of here, Caden.
But because he has that faulty implant, he gets like chronic migraines, like horrible migraines, which I do not envy him for, because I have chronic migraines as well, and they are not super fun times. So I can get why he can be a little bit cranky sometimes. I'm just saying. Look, the guy literally has a headache 24/7.
Look, I loved Caden until his dumbass showed up in Mass Effect 2.
Oh, fuck. Horizon got me mad.
Like, we're going to get there, but I loved Caden until I'm like, hey, boo! And he's like, who the fuck are you, bitch? And I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah. Okay. And then if you actually start a relationship with someone else, because you're like, well, he's obviously done with me, and you start, I don't know, flirting with Garrus or something. In Mass Effect 3, he's like, oh, I mean, you cheated on me, but I get why you did. And I'm like, excuse me, cheated on you? We were on a break, you know? So.
Oh yeah, he gets hot, but. Yeah. Anyway, so you meet Ashley. Ashley rolls up, and she's like, "Hey!" in her white and pink, like fucking
gunnery
outfit.
Sergeant Ashley Williams, the Pink Power Ranger.
Legit. So she rolls up, and she's like, "Hey, there is some fucking shit happening. My whole squad's been taken out. I'm gonna join you." And you're like, "Great, because Jenkins is dead. I need a third member. Come on."
Good. Well, it just so happens that a spot opened up like 6 seconds ago. Welcome aboard.
And as you're walking through this fucking like cryptic ass place, you see these people like on those spikes.
Yeah, impaled on giant spikes,
looking like fucking somebody sucked all the fucking like juice out of them. I'm like, what is this? What is this?
Like an overcooked people kebab. Just dry and crispy and no good.
No good.
And then
Just
they fucking come to life.
They get the fuck off. Like the little
Yeah.
spears go down back into the ground. These fucking pod people get up their jerky arms and they come after you. And you're like,
And they make the most horrible noise. I do not like. I've
And
been
the-
replaying Mass Effect 3.
And the
And you have to deal with
cutscene.
them a lot, and it's the worst.
But the cutscene when you're watching it happen, I swear to you, I could, if they weren't wearing helmets, I feel like their faces would have been my faces. Like, what the fuck? And Ashley's like, I told you.
I am not qualified for this. Beat me up, Scotty. I'm done.
I'll be like, hey, Joker, can I go back? I want to go back. This is a lot.
Taxi.
And I'm here for
Somebody
it.
call me an Uber, please.
It's
geez,
so fucking
no,
wet. So
that
you gotta
was
like
horrible.
fucking claw through them fuckers. You finally get to the beacon, and fucking Saren's at the beacon too, and he's like, hey, I want this, and you're like, no, bitch, and then you go to like touch it, and
Or you get closer to it and you kind of like connect with it, and you get these like flashes of things happening, and that's when you first see the Reapers. The Reapers are important. You're going to
And
be hearing
terrifying.
about them a lot, mostly in the context of Shepard telling everybody the Reapers are coming and everybody else going, nah.
No, they're not. And you're like, but I saw them in my head. And they're like, that seems a little suspect, Joan of Arc. And you're just like, I told you. So anyway, so now you go back to your ship and you've got Caden and you've got Ashley and they're all on your little ship. And then Commander Anderson is like, hey, I'm going to stay back at the Citadel where all like the bigwigs are. You're going to go ahead and command the Normandy now. This ship is
your
yours.
ship now.
Because they make you a Spectre for reasons beyond who knows why. They do it. Like, okay, fucking fine, take it. So he's like, hey, go. You go and take the ship. You figure out what the fuck is going on and report back to me. And you're like, bro, this is your ship. He's like, nope. Goodbye, Commander Shepard.
It's yours now. Here's the keys. Have fun.
I'm
if
going
you
to stay over
scratch it,
here.
I will whip your ass. Like, okay.
And so he's like, I'm staying over here in the corner because I don't got time for this shit. So anyway, so you go on there and then like your whole mission is to get people to like, you're finding people to help. So you end up running into Tally, my fucking favorite companion.
She's sweet baby. I mean, I named one of my cats after her. I fucking love her.
I love Tally. Then you get Liara, you get Garrus, my boo, and you get Rex.
Yeah, so Garrus is a Turian, like we said. Tally is a what are they called again? Quarian. They don't have a planet anymore because they created AIs and those AIs became sentient. And when they did, the Quarians immediately tried to kill them. And then the AIs were like, nah, bish. And there's like a war between the AIs, which are the Geth and the Quarians. So the Quarians are basically migrants. They live on this like fleet of different ships. The flotilla. And Tally is actually on her pilgrimage to find like technologies of other things.
Tally's on her Rumspringa.
Yeah, basically. But because they are constantly on the move, like their immune system is basically non-existent at this point, and they have to live in special suits so they don't die of a cold, basically. So you never really see her face until maybe if you romance her in 3 and you have that picture. She's real pretty.
She's so pretty. Oh yeah, I didn't romance Tally, so I had to like look it up, and she's so pretty.
My little brother did when I wasn't looking, so I missed that one.
I'm so mad at you. Like this is not who I said you can romance.
I was like, I told you, Liara. That's the choice. And he's like,
yeah. Well,
I like Liara.
Is what
I don't know, but she's the one that has like the weird.
She's the blue one, right?
Yeah, the blue one that has like looks like they're wearing cornrows, but they're not.
Yeah,
like their head.
They're Asari, and they're basically considered the most advanced species in the galaxy for reasons that we will get to when we get to Mass Effect 3. But they are an all-female race, and they reproduce with other races by some kind of like telepathic bullshit instead of like, sex.
But then some of them are like
the Ardat Yakshi, you mean?
Huh?
You mean the Ardat Yakshi, the ones that can kill you with sex?
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of them have like a couple wires crossed and can't connect mentally with people without killing them. So that's fun. They're rare, but it does happen. But they will always, if offspring is created between an Asari and another race, it will always be another Asari, and they are all female. That's the Asari. And then Rex is a Krogan. We spoke about Krogan.
Rex got fucked, and their race got fucked.
Yeah, they got fucked over big time. When there was an outbreak of what are they called again? Names. Those fucking bugs. The Rachni.
Yes.
So they were like
save the queen. Save the queen.
Yeah, save the queen. There was a bug race that was just, overrunning the whole galaxy, and then they called in the Krogan to come and help, and the Krogan fucking crushed them. But the Krogan like to do two things. They like to fight and they like to fuck. So there were starting to become too many Krogan, and they, like, the Solarians were like, there's too many Krogan, so we're going to alter their genetics in a way, like we're going to create this thing called the genophage and make it so that only like one baby in like 100,000 or something is viable. So yeah, their numbers got cut real hard, and they're kind of salty about it, which is why the Krogans and the Solarians do not get along.
Which is really hard, because you get a Solarian on your ship, and Rex is like, fuck this guy.
I don't think he meets Morden. I don't think he meets Morden until like the second one.
Yeah, but he's like, fuck this game.
Yeah,
so anyway, so the whole first Mass Effect is basically you trying to chase down fucking Saren and figure out what he's doing before he does it. You're basically just playing a whole game of like cat and mouse, like spy versus spy shit, like trying to get his ass. And then, spoiler, at the end, your ship blows up. You get like launched into space.
That's actually the start of the second one.
Well, yeah, because
in the end of Mass Effect 1, spoilers if you don't want to hear it, what basically happens is you find out that Saren has been indoctrinated by the Reapers. So he's basically been taken over mentally completely. And he was basically trying to open the way for the Reapers like to come back in. But you stop him, fortunately. If you have enough like Paragon or Renegade points, you can make him kill himself. You can, if you have enough Paragon points, which is what I always had, you can make him see that what he did was horrible, and then he shoots himself in the head, which
he does.
Sucks, but you don't have to fight him, which is cool.
Yeah, because fighting him sucks as well.
Yeah. And then at the end of the game, again, you're like, look, Saren was being indoctrinated by the Reapers. The Reapers are coming. We have to be prepared for this. And the council's like, sure, Jan, sit down. And you're like, fuck. But the council basically doesn't believe you. You know the Reapers are coming. This is a problem. And this leads into Mass Effect 2. And at the beginning of Mass Effect 2, you get ambushed by a collector ship. Now, we're going to talk about the collectors more, but you get ambushed by them. They blow up your ship, and you get launched into space and basically suffocate in space.
It's shitty. You're just like, my Shepard!
Yeah. So basically the last thing that Shepard does is like she shoves Joker, because he was still trying to save the fucking ship because he loves that ship so much. She basically just shoves his ass in an escape pod and launches him, and then you're like, oh fuck, now I can't get off. And then you're fucked.
So is it the end of 1 that you have to play as Joker with the things when Normandy's on fire?
No, that's in 2.
God dang it, that was when his like slow ass is trying to get through.
Shit. Like, okay, Seth Green, calm down.
It's so bad.
That's in 2 when the collectors invade your ship and take all the crew.
Because Joker has like a medical condition where his like bonies are
he's
weak.
Brittle bone disease.
And so, man,
he can sneeze and break a rib for real.
When he's walking through that fucking ship when it's on fire, it's like the worst. It's like when you're walking through the snow.
I was just about to say
it's like walking through the
in
snow
Dragon
in
Age,
Dragon Age.
Yes.
And you're just like, oh my fucking god, can this be over? Can this be over? You're just walking so slow for so long.
Just like dragging his broken ass through the ship, like,
oh god, you just kind of want to like stab yourself in the eye. It's like the fucking I'm like, why did you put this in here? why do you hate me? But you could tell right then that the same people who make Mass Effect make Dragon Age.
So they're like,
because there's the same fucking shitty ass scene in both of them. And I'm like, fire this fucker.
Moment where you sit there with one finger on the move forward button, and that's all you're going to do for the next 20 minutes. Have fun.
You're just like, ugh. And then he stops for a minute, and you're like, could you keep going?
Yep.
It's on fire.
It's like, no, he can't keep going. He probably broke a hip trying to get there. So sweet baby Joker.
Oh man.
But
so
yeah,
you go into
you're
2.
basically dead at the start of 2. That's what happens. You dead.
DED dead.
Short game 2. No, but you actually are found by an organization called Cerberus. And now Cerberus is branded as a terrorist organization, even though they don't agree with that moniker, because they are very much, we just want the best in the galaxy, but only for the humans. Like, we want humans to be a dominant force in the galaxy. Yeah, that's terrorism. I'm just gonna, if you want to establish dominance by ways of violence, that's terrorism.
Exactly.
So that's what they do. But they find Shepard, and they bring, I'm going to refer to Shepard as her because that's always the Shepard I played. So they bring her back to life. And so you're like, I was dead. Now I'm not. What the fuck is going on? And the first person you meet is Jacob. What to say about Jacob? I don't. He's there. He has the personality of a wet piece of cardboard.
He is literally the worst. Like, I think I blacked him out.
Yeah, so you have this entire game series with a cast of amazingly complex and interesting characters, and then you have Jacob, who is basically the human personification of a wet paper towel.
He's the fucking worst. Like I said, I swear to you, I swear to you, I think I just like fever dreamed him out of my brain. Like,
yeah,
he doesn't exist to me because he literally had.
I never do his loyalty missions, so he always dies in my game. So yeah, but I did read, if you fight so you can romance him. I don't know who would want to, but you can romance him. Yeah. And then after 2, when you get thrown in jail for 3 months, this is a span of like what, 3 months, 5, 6 months tops, and you meet him again, and he is immediately shacked up with someone else and knocked her up. You're like, I was in jail for 6 months, so you just immediately went to knock up someone else. That's cool. So you can't get back together with him because he's got his baby mama that he has to take care of. So you're like, all right, that's legit, I suppose. All right, cool. Thanks, Jacob.
Appreciate it.
Asshole. So there's that. I don't like him. He always dies in 2. I got the nobody dies ending for the achievement, and then every time I've played it afterwards, I've specifically orchestrated it so that only Jacob dies. I'm not even sorry. Because you're like going through the suicide mission, and then he dies, and everybody goes, Jacob! All right, let's keep going. Bye!
And that is the biggest thing. Okay, so again, this whole episode's full of spoilers. So it doesn't stop you from having a good time of playing the game, because I've replayed this a couple of times.
I'll record something at the beginning and like slap it on to say like there's going to be a bunch of spoilers in this. So if you want to play the game, maybe don't.
But I honestly will tell you that, like, if you're gonna play the game, no matter what, I mean, because we're just giving you like major spoilers, but there's so many different ways to get to the end and to get to like ways. And it's so fun and intricate, even if you know what's going to happen. Because like in Mass Effect,
it's not like the twists are like that massive. It's just the drama of it. It's not like there's like Sixth Sense style twists in it. It's just the whole experience of the game, which is fun. Because I've played it 50 million times, but every time I get to the point where the collectors kidnap my crew, I'm still like, you motherfuckers!
You're still salty about it.
Yeah.
So the whole point of 2 is you are
you're working for Cerberus now,
and you're trying to collect all of these people and resources and blah 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 but the 2 could fuck you over at the end. Because at the end of Mass Effect 2, it's possible for Shepard and every single one of the people on your team to die. And if you do die in the final mission, or because basically if you try to just burn through, don't do it. Because you have got to collect the resources and the information and so each person.
Basically, what you have to do in this one is Cerberus tells you that a lot of human colonies are getting hit by the Collectors, and the Collectors are abducting these humans, and you need to find out why. And he's like, you're going to need a team, like you had on your the Elusive Man, who is the leader of Cerberus, who's got freaky cybernetic eyes, which is amazing. And he just sits in front of this huge like window with a burning planet in the background and smokes cigarettes and drinks whiskey, and I love him. But basically, he says you're going to need a team, and I have all these dossiers of people that because you have no one. You start out with Jacob and Miranda, and that's it. And you're going to want to switch out Jacob as fast as possible because you don't want to.
Please do, because also not only is he a piece of paper, but he's a shitty teammate. Like he doesn't. Yeah. He's not even good.
And it's like, for fuck's sake, you get a black person on your team, fucking finally, and then you give him no personality. What the fuck is up with that?
Like, BioWare. He is so bad. I just leave him sitting in the fucking the chair, the couch area, and I'm like, stay there.
He's always in the armory, and whenever I have to go and see Morden, and I accidentally walk into the armory, I'm like, oh, nope, other door, because I don't want to talk to Jacob.
You Homer Simpson out because you don't want to talk to this fucker because he literally is shit. Like, I did his loyalty mission because I do everyone's loyalty mission.
So bad.
It's just so boring. Mm-hmm. His story is boring. He's boring. Everything about him is boring, and I hate him.
And all the other characters
Miranda's amazing.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. I like her. She's sassy.
But anyway, so if you don't do all of the missions and collect all of the things, your people will fucking die.
Yeah.
At the end.
So that's like the first. It's split up in 3 acts. Basically, you have the first act where you have to assemble your team. You have the second act where you have to do all of their loyalty missions, and then you have the third act where you actually have to go to the suicide mission. Once you get into Act 3, that's it. The timer starts, and that's the point of no going back, and you have to go through the relay.
And they kind of tell you that, too. They're like...
Yeah, they're like, are you sure you want to proceed? Because if you do this mission, there's no going back. So don't forget to save, you dingus. Thank God, because I think a lot of people went to that point and weren't happy with how they ended up.
Why they weren't happy?
Fuck.
Because your Shepherd dies, all the members of your team die, and it's like, it's so bad. And if your Shepherd dies, though, you can't play anymore. You can't put your character, because you can import your character through all. Your Shepherd will be your Shepherd from 1 will be your Shepherd in 3.
Yeah, and I think if your Shepherd dies in 2, you can't import your previous save.
You cannot. And you can't. You cannot. And then if any of your team members die in 2, that's it. They're not coming back.
Yeah, nope, that's
in
it.
3.
Because they do, normally if they're still alive, they do come back in 3 because we get Garrus back in 2, which is fun.
Yes, and so you get Garrus in 3, and if he, as long as he doesn't die. The only person who does not come back in 3 is Thane. But that's because he actually...
Well, he sort of does come back, but not as a teammate because he has a terminal illness, and that's already established in 2. So
and that's who I romanced.
And you can romance him.
That's who I romanced, and that is who fucking Caden got salty about. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you!
Like, he's fucking dying. It's not even a problem anymore.
He's in the bed. Hold up.
But that's good for you if you want some extra drama in your life. Like, you meet this Drell, and he's amazing, and he's an assassin, and he's so cool. And then he's like, we could be lovers, but I'm dying. Cough, cough. Like, shit. It's like that extra drama level in the romance, and when you romance
I thought maybe I'd be able to save him, but no.
Mm-mm. He a dead man. Man. But yeah, so you get Garrus, you get the Drell, fucking Thane, he's great. You get another Krogan, you get Grunt, who is a tank-bred Krogan. Because one of these warlords, Okir, tried to basically make artificial pure Krogans so that he could circumvent the genophage, because they can't give birth naturally anymore, or at least not successfully in most of the times. So he tried to do it that way. but that also means he's a baby. He's like a fucking wrecking ball, but he's a baby. And yeah, he's pretty cool, but he has to like learn what it means to be a Krogan, which is fun. That's his loyalty mission, like take him through like the Krogan rite of passage. You get Morden Solus, who's a Solarian and who is a big fan of Gilbert and Sullivan, and he's just the best. You get Jack, who is a
Crazy.
badass freaking lady. She's a crazy, insane, strong biotic, and she was basically kidnapped by Cerberus as a child and like experimented on and blah 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 because they wanted to make like the ultimate like biotic warrior. And her loyalty mission is going back to where she was imprisoned by Cerberus and blowing the fuck up. But yeah, she's she got a chipped corner there. That's something that we say in Belgium. Like there's a chipped corner there. It means you're not really sane. She's got issues, but I can sort of see why, because her trauma, holy shit, if I went through what she went through, I'd be crazy too.
Her shit,
but
is,
she's
her,
a badass.
her shit makes sense. Like,
yeah,
Kaden, I get it, whatever, but
some baggage there.
Jack, her shit makes sense, and I'm just like, all right, but let me tell you, she is the most fickle bitch. Like one like sneeze wrong, and she's pissed off at you.
Yeah, like, she will fucking punch you in the face.
And then there's this one part that I've never done right. Because I don't know how to do it right. I'm gonna try.
You need to have a certain amount of Paragon points.
When I get the bundle, I'm gonna try it again. It's when her and Miranda are talking,
start fighting. Yeah, you have to get a certain amount of Paragon points to like, because you get a chance to pick either one of their sides, or you get if you have enough Paragon points, you get a certain option to tell them both to shut the fuck up. That's the one that I always got to pick because I always got.
But you have like, the problem is like every time that I run into, because I run all through all their loyalty missions so quickly. It's usually what I do first, so that pops up before I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
I don't have enough Paragon points because I've just been running through loyalty missions.
Yeah, definitely try to leave some of the loyalty missions until like before you go. Don't leave them too long, but spread them out because you don't want to do them too.
Because honestly, once you trigger that, like you're fucked one way or the other. Like if you take Jack's side, Miranda never talks to you again. If you take Miranda's side, Jack never talks to you. It's just weird. And if you want, because you need Mass Effect 2 is BioWare in general is so good about this. You need your people.
You really do.
You need their loyalty. You need either their loyalty or their fear, but you need them.
Yep, you need them. Because basically all of that leads up to the suicide mission. And that's the suicide mission is to go through the Omega-4 relay, which is a chore in and of itself. It's very dangerous. It's just filled with debris. It's very difficult to navigate. And then you have to infiltrate the collector base and take them out. And they're like, this is going to be a suicide mission. And it is very much so in the sense of the word that you can be dead before you even reach the collector base. Because you have all of these upgrades that you can do to your ship. And if you get the option to upgrade something to your ship, fucking do it. Trust me on this.
They're giving it to you for
shields.
a reason.
Do Garrus' loyalty mission so he will upgrade your cannons. Just all of the bits and pieces that you can upgrade to your ship, you do it. Otherwise, you're fucked before you even get to the collector base.
And then when you get to the collector base, so fun. This game is like you can fuck yourself over so hard. You can
fuck up so bad
and not realize that you fucked yourself over until it's the end. Like the same thing with I'm glad because Addis went out to smoke, and I'm glad she did because she hasn't seen the end of Dragon Age Inquisition yet. Because even though my game glitched, but if you don't if Iron Bull becomes Tal-Vashoth.
No, if he becomes Tal-Vashoth, he stays with you. But
no, the other one. What's the other one?
No, if he stays with the Qunari, so if you sacrifice the Chargers, he stays with the Qunari.
That one.
He turns on you. We discussed
this
as well for betrayal.
I'm saying, but like that betrayal.
Yeah.
It
And he even was like, "Sorry, boss," and I was like, "What the
Yep.
fuck?"
The thing is, he always calls you boss, as in BOSS. But if he fucks you over, he calls you boss, BAS, which is their term for like not kunari. It's kind of like a, yeah, kind of like a.
It's his way of telling
it's
you,
not
like,
a slur.
I'm
It's just
them.
it's kind of like a fuck you. So that just hurts because he's always calling you boss, and then all of a sudden he calls you boss, and you're just like,
Well, I was
my
annoyed
heart.
because my game glitched because I had romanced Iron Bull. Like I'd
Yeah.
save the Chargers, and we were together. Like he called me whatever the endearment.
Kadan.
Yes, and then so when he turned on me, I like immediately paused my game. I was like, "What the fuck?" But my
Yeah,
game
the thing is
glitched.
though, if you romance him but still sacrifice the Chargers, he will
Oh,
still turn on you.
ma'am, I never sacrifice the Chargers.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, so it's just,
But yeah, Mass Effect.
it's very important. So like, I mentioned that because
you need their
you
loyalty to survive.
need
Because
their
when you
loyalty.
get to the collector base, that's when shit really starts going, and that's where you start losing people. So you have to go and save your crew. And then you have to like set up teams. So one of the first things you have to do is like one of them has to be chosen to get through vents to open like something, a door or something, and you have to choose someone, and they give you, this is the profile that is most likely to succeed. This is where I always pick Jacob because he will always fail. That's where he dies. So it's like you can either pick this person or this person, and that will definitely succeed. If you pick anyone else, they will die. So that's where I pick it. Then you have to like
I purposely, I'm sacrificing you for the greater good.
Pretty much. I know Tally would absolutely nail this, but I'm going to pick Jacob because he has to die. But if then you find the survivors, and someone has to guide them to the ship. This is where I always pick Morden. And then you have to get through all of these bugs that can potentially paralyze you. And then you need to pick one of your biotics to shield you. And the strongest that can do that here are Samara. Oh yeah, you get Samara too. She's an Asari. She's Justicar. She's badass. Or Jack. I always pick Jack because I like this being her big fuck yeah, I can do it moment, you know? And then they have to shield you. But that only succeeds if you have done their loyalty mission, either for Samara or Jack. If you haven't done their loyalty mission, they will fail. Same for the person who goes through the vents. If you haven't done their loyalty mission, they will fail. And every person that you assign to one of these specific tasks, they will only succeed and survive if you have done their loyalty missions. Otherwise, they dead. So it's very easy as Shepard to go in there with a full crew and come back with no one and then die yourself. It is completely possible to lose your entire team if you make the wrong choices there and if you haven't done their loyalty missions. So for the love of God, please do your loyalty missions, except for Jacob's. He doesn't count.
Except for Jacob's, he doesn't care. You don't care about Jacob.
Yeah, because if you want to send him through the shaft and get him, shafted, you have to not do his loyalty mission, because I think there's a chance that he succeeds if you do his loyalty mission. So don't do his. If you want to sacrifice him, don't do his.
He does. He succeeds.
Oh yeah, so don't do his loyalty mission. Just fuck Jacob. So yeah,
he's just
that's
boring.
Mass Effect 2.
He's just a really boring person,
Mm-hmm.
and I really wanted to get everybody to make it through. That's why I was like, okay, but man, Mass Effect 2 is my fucking favorite.
It's so good. I've
just because
it so
of
times.
all your twists and your turns and your Mass Effect 1 is honestly my least favorite, but you got to play it to get through.
Same.
It's my least, like it's the one I'm dreading having to play.
It's like a good start and it's fun to play through, but Mass Effect 2 is really what made the series so great, because it had set up all of these things for Mass Effect 2 to perfect, which is amazing, because you got to know all these characters, you got attached to them, and then you meet them again in 2 and you're like, yes, you have a bond with them. Like, you meet Tally at the beginning of Mass Effect 2 and you're like, hey, come with me, come help me, and she's like, I'm sorry, I can't. And then you fucking, you meet Liara, come with me. Oh, I can't. You find out later why, but oh, I can't. You're like, oh God, all of my friends are gone. I was dead for 2 years. All my friends are gone. I have nobody anymore. This fucking sucks. And then fucking Garrus shows up and you're like, Garrus, buddy, let's go. Come join my crew. And he's like, fuck yeah, let's do this. And it just makes you so happy. Ah, he's great.
The
It's
mission
so
in
great.
okay, we're gonna take it to 3, but that mission in 3 where you just go like at the end when you go just like sit on the
on the top of the citadel and you just shoot the bottle. There's always like one where you have to make a choice where he's like, I'm gonna prove to you that I'm the best sniper, and he hits a bottle, and then you have the choice to either hit the bottle and beat him or miss on purpose. And I always miss on purpose.
Me too.
Because I'm
I
like,
want him to
I'm
have
gonna let
that
you
moment.
have this one. Yeah. And then he's like, I'm Garrus Vakarian. This is my favorite spot on the Citadel. And he's just so, I love him. He's the best.
Garrus is like he's like your best friend.
Yeah, he's my wingman.
Because he keeps it, yeah, because he keeps it real with you.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't like shoot, he will never like sugarcoat your shit, but he's just so, he also never turns on you. Unless you fuck with him, he's not gonna fuck with you.
No.
His loyalty is.
That's why I could never romance him, because I'm like, you're my buddy, you're my pal. I
did it once just because I wanted to, and it's so funny because when you start to try, he's like, "Wait, what? You want to do this?
You're what?"
He's like, "But no one wants to." He's like, "I'm a."
Yeah, because at
like,
some
he's
point
so thrown off.
He goes into a bar, and you have the opportunity to like be his wingman, and he flirts with this other lady Turian, and it's such a mess because he's such a nerd, and I love him so much. He like tries, and he's like, ugh, I can't even. It's like, oh, so you come here often? And like, oh yeah, that's like sign
you're
of
just sitting
alcohol
there like,
dependency. And you're like, oh, buddy, no, abort. He's such a dingus, and I love him.
It's the best, and I highly recommend just keeping him in your team and forever.
Just take him everywhere, all the time,
like because also he's a badass, so take him everywhere all the time in general.
He's fucking greatest sniper ever.
He
is. Thane, but they're both good snipers.
Look,
but
Thane
Garrus
is great, but Thane dies. Yeah. Okay,
just bring Garrus. He's your buddy. But basically, the end of 2 sets it up for 3. That the collectors are basically Protheans that have been indoctrinated by the Reapers. Because that's what they do. They take over these species when they come back every like thousands of years, and they indoctrinated the Protheans, this long extinct species. And basically what the collectors were doing, they were taking these humans and then like turning them into mulch, and then using that to power like a quote unquote human reaper, which was like a massive metal skeleton powered with human juice.
It was really gross.
It was really gross, but that fight was amazing. You just play Mass Effect 2 just for that fight because it was so good.
It was still gross. All right, so
but then basically you had to like go back to the council and go like, look, guys, shit's starting to get real. They're very close. The Reapers are coming, and the council's like, sure, Jan, sit down. By the way, weren't you dead?
They still, they're like, where the fuck did you come from? You were dead. And they're like, you're like, hi, I'm here. And they still don't believe you.
No.
And the council doesn't believe you until they get murdered.
So basically you do end up in like military jail in the beginning of Mass Effect 3, but you only get that if you play a certain DLC. I think it's the Arrival DLC. I'm not sure. And in that DLC, Shepard has to go like do this whole mission to stop like the Reapers from coming through in a relay or something, and they end up destroying that relay, which also ends up destroying an entire Batarian planet. But the Batarians are slavers, so we don't really care, but technically it is genocide, so you kind of have to reprimand them. You know how it goes.
And you go to jail.
And you go to jail. So you're on Earth, and you're in jail, and you get dragged in front of the council again, and the council's like, okay, so you keep telling about Reapers, but the Reapers, you know, because Shepard again is like, the Reapers are fucking coming. It's like, we're not here to talk about the Reapers. We're here to talk about your genocide. And then the Reapers land on Earth and blow everything up. And then Shepard basically stands there going, I fucking told you so. And yeah,
It's
that's
great.
how Mass Effect 3 starts, with just fire and explosions. It's really fun.
It's super great. So Mass Effect. Oh,
Oh,
and
this is, by the way, also the point where you get reunited with Ashley or Caden, depending on who you sacrificed in one. I
and
always
Caden stares at
kept
you in
Caden.
anger.
Yeah, I always kept Caden around because I romanced him in one, and then you don't get to see him in two until like halfway, and then he's like, "What the fuck? I thought you were dead." And I'm like, "Well, I didn't exactly have any say in this," but he's like, "How could you? You're with Cerberus." And I was like, "Well, yeah, they brought me back to life, and they're the only one who are taking this Reaper threat seriously." And then he's like, "I don't even know who you are anymore. I need to think about this." And you're like, "Okay, fine." So then you get an email from him later going like, "I just confusion." But then you see him again in 3 because you run into him and he's been promoted to major, which is fun. And then he's just like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" You're like, good, how are you?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm fine." Awkward silence, and then you move on. But you do end up escaping with him and with Vega, fucking James Vega, who's a badass and voiced
I love
by
Vega.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Freddie
Fucking
Prinze Jr. is like, I think he has like a
Mr.
contract
Sarah
with
Michelle
BioWare.
Gellar. Yeah, he's so great.
He's also Iron Bull, who is my fucking fave.
He is, and he's a really good cook.
Mm-hmm.
And you end up escaping with them to Mars because Anderson's like, "You gotta go to Mars. There's something that could help us on Mars." And we're like, "Okay, so we're going to Mars." And you end up going to Mars, and you're with Vega and Caden. And if you romance Caden, you spend the entire mission arguing with him like an old married couple. It's great. And there you run into Liara, because Liara was there, because, you know, wherever Prothean shit is, you will find Liara, because she's a scholar. She studies these things.
Oh, but wait,
and
hold on,
then-
time out. So you forget, though, don't forget, in Mass Effect 2, Tali decides that she's going to leave the flotilla and become you, like she's going to come and hang out with you permanently.
Yeah.
So then she changes her name.
Yeah.
To Tali Zora Voss Normandy.
Voss
She's
Normandy,
part of,
yes.
because she's part of your team.
Yeah, she's with you now.
Did y'all save Caden or Ashley when he played? I don't remember. I so much of this I don't remember. That's why I've kind of been like silent this entire time, because I'm going down like memory lane listening to you guys. The only thing that truly stands out is the very end of Mass Effect 3 for me, because we slept on it and everything. I know we'll get there at that point, and that's when you'll hear all of my opinions. Mass Effect 3 pissed me the fuck off. The ending made me angry, and we're not. Ooh.
It pissed a lot of people off.
It did. That's why.
Oops.
That's why. That's why BioWare was like, "Oh my god, we're fucking sorry. Here, have some DLC. It's free.
Yep.
You can change it.
Have the Citadel DLC too. This is fun, right? We're all having fun. Please forget about the fuck up we had.
We're so sorry."
Yeah. So basically the premise of 3 is the Reapers are here. They're invading all of the planets in the galaxy. Fucking Earth is on fire. The fucking Turian planet is on fire. They're just all over the place, and it's no bueno. And Shepard has to assemble Shepard basically has to find this weapon to defeat them, because they're like, there's something in the Prothean archives on Mars that shows that the Protheans were building a weapon to destroy the Reapers. Cool. So that's what they're starting to build. And in the meantime, Shepard has to basically solve conflicts, because they're like, we need the Turians' help. Okay, but the Turians don't want to help us unless we do this. Okay, we need the Quarians to help us, but the Quarians still have a conflict with the Geth, so we need to fix that. Okay, we need the Krogan to help us. Oh, well, the Krogan don't want to help us unless we cure the genophage, but the Solarians don't want to do that. So you're basically brokering peace between all of these species that are fighting among themselves to save the galaxy. Because still, when the entire galaxy is on threat of collapse, these people all want to fight among themselves. You're like, am I your fucking babysitter, or are we going to defeat the Reapers?
It's fucking annoying because like the whole time you're like, hi, this is going to affect everybody. Can you help me? But like, I'm really mad about this. Can you fix this first? And it's
I
like,
don't
bro,
know.
if I fix it or if I don't, we gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, but still fix it so that I'll help
still
you.
fix it.
And you're like, this is a bunch of bullshit. Like there is a threat of death, but you want what? But you care about instead. What does that mean for you? It's like the coronavirus. I'll wear a mask, but only if it affects me personally. Like if I know somebody around me that got corona, then I'll wear a mask. But other than that, fuck the greater good. That's how this feels.
It's like basically the point of those masks is you wear them so you don't affect others. But basically these people are like, oh, I'm only going to wear a mask if it means that it doesn't infect me. That's basically it.
I just feel like the CDC just fucked up in how they rebranded that. They should have just said,
we have to keep each other
wear
safe.
A mask
wear a
mask so that it doesn't affect you. And if you made it about them personally, then it would have worked.
Wear a mask or you will die.
Okay, I'm wearing a mask because I don't want to die. So anyway, so you roll through the game, you roll through Mass Effect 3, and then no matter what you do,
it basically turns out that the huge weapon is a catalyst that has to be like clicked onto the Citadel, which is like a giant floating city, and that is the weapon. And that is where you end up at the very, very end of Mass Effect 3. And there you meet this fever dream child that's just been haunting you ever since you met it on Earth. And that is apparently like something that talks to you and gives you 3 choices.
So side note, you have schlepped your shepherd from 1 to 2. You have reformed your shepherd's face because you are scarred up to high heaven in Mass Effect 2 after you blown up to pieces.
So suffocate in space and then get burned up to a crisp entering some kind of atmosphere.
They bring you back. Cerberus brings you back. But they're like, we put you back together, but your face is a little scarred. But if you do good things, you can get your face to be no scarred. If you do bad things, your face stays scarred. It's whatever.
Actually, you can get rid of the scars altogether. But if you're maximum renegade, you get like red glowing scars. And if you go Paragon, I think they like glow blue or something. I don't know.
No, I thought they just kind of go away.
No, you can make them go away, but you have to like get a specific upgrade for that.
Either way it goes, it doesn't matter. You schlepp this bitch from 1 to 2, all the way through 3, schlepping her around, making
probably
her do
collecting a buttload of PTSD.
So much. Making her do
sleeping.
All of this shit for everybody else, just trying to stop the world from ending. You had to deal with whiny tit ass Caden this whole time, and if you did romance Thane, the guy that was really caring and loved you died of some weird ass disease.
No, he doesn't die of a disease. He gets stabbed by Kai Leng while protecting the council, and then you have to watch him die, which is fun. But then you get your revenge on Kai Leng because fuck that guy.
But you're just like, great, fucking great. And then you get to the end of Mass Effect 3, and you get 3 options. 3.
Those are basically, you either get to destroy the Reapers completely, but if you destroy the Reapers, you also destroy all artificial intelligence life, like basically all non-organic life in the galaxy. So basically the Geth that you ended up saving and being friends with, Edie, who is your ship's AI, who is then basically becomes sentient and gets her own body and gets in a romance with
Joker's girlfriend.
Yeah, all get destroyed. You either pick control, which means that you get control the Reapers, but you basically become this sentient being then that controls the Reapers, or you get the what was it again? What was it called? There was control, destroy, and the synthesis ending, which basically fuses all organic and non-organic life in the galaxy together, so everybody becomes like a little bit AI and a little bit not. But that does mean that all of the Geth and Edie and everybody gets to live, but it also means that humans don't become like human anymore, and like
They're all part
the
of
Quarians. They're all like part machine then as well. I always had an issue with that because I'm like, this is not a choice that I want to make for everybody. And I didn't want to control them because that's what the elusive man wanted to do. He wanted to control the Reapers and just basically rule the galaxy for humanity. So fuck that guy. But he's also really cool. But I always chose the destroy ending because that was basically what we set out to do. This was the whole mission from the start. Destroy the Reapers so that they can't fucking do this shit again. And I'm like, this is what we set out to do. This is what I'm going to keep doing. I don't want to make a decision that will affect the lives of like billions of people in the galaxy. Yeah. But whatever happens, you die. So you did all
no
of this.
matter what you fucking do,
yep, you schlepped your way
die
through the galaxy, did all of this shit, all of this badass crap, fixed everybody's problems, and you don't even get rewarded with a nice retirement. No, you fucking die.
Die.
So that's what people were a little bit pissed, that all of these choices that they made didn't really matter in the end, and that you died in the end. That was like, what the fuck are you doing? So they fixed that with, well, I say fixed, but they kind of like tried to fix that with the director's cut DLC that you get for free. That was their like sorry kinda. Basically, when you go through the game, you can collect war assets that will give you like galactic preparedness and stuff. And if you collect enough of them and choose the destroy ending, you get a little cutscene extra at the end of the game where you see like Shepard's chest and you just see them like take a breath. And that's it. So you're like, okay, so they could still be alive, but
I was
that's
about to
not.
say, I remember an option where Shepard lives.
No, that
was the director's cut.
Initial.
That was their. I'm sorry, we fucked up. We'll try to fix it. That was what they did.
That was it. Because and look, I get why they did it because it's a trilogy and this is the end of the trilogy. There's no reason for but still, are you fucking kidding me? I was so damn mad.
I want them to be able to retire and move to Vancouver with Caden and have their beautiful house with an orchard and a deck and where they can drink beers and watch the sunset. That's what I wanted.
I'm going to make a disclaimer here before I go into why I justified the decision. If there was an option for a happy ending, obviously we would have went there. But because everything sucked, I thought it made the most sense, and honoring Shepard's entire journey and sacrifices and everything, it made the most sense to go with the option 3, where everyone except Shepard lives. Because I just felt like,
hold on. So the synthesis?
Yeah.
The synthesis
where the AIs get to live as well, and the Geth get to live, and pretty much everyone gets to live. Granted, there are obvious little big changes, but it ensured that every species that you worked so hard to keep alive up until this point has that opportunity to live. Shepard is a legend. Everything that Shepard has done up until this point was legendary. It made no sense that at the final moment he opts out or she opts out and goes for a convenient decision, that ends up screwing over something that, required that sacrifice. I just feel like it made sense that Shepard goes out this way because no legend lives, you know what I mean? To know how legendary they were, how impactful they were. That was for others to carry on. So I wish there was a simple retirement plan involved in any of those decisions, but nothing really made sense to me. Me and my little brother actually had to push pause, save the game, and sleep on this decision before we reconvened and decided to go with that one. And even then, it was still tough. But I will go toe to toe for anybody arguing like, no, that still sucks. And I'm like, no, anything else sucked more than that decision to me. To destroy your friends, your loved ones, and everything else just because, you wanted Shepard to stay alive. So
See, the problem I had with that one is that basically what that means is that the synthetics and the organics, they all became the same. And it basically took away the diversity that the galaxy had. Like the Turians, the Quarians, the humans, like all that diversity is basically wiped away because you all become one and the same.
I
And that
disagree. I
no,
feel
and
like
that left a bad taste in my mouth.
you still maintain the diversity in the culture, in the history, and everything else about all these different unique species. But
From
you
the
finally,
past, yes, but you don't go forward like that anymore.
you create the thread now that ties them and binds them together. Because what is the point of the council? What is the point of all that brokering of peace and everything?
The point of Shepard's journey as well was to prove that you didn't need that to have everyone get along, because that was like what Shepard did. Her whole journey was, you just achieving this amazing goal with all of these different species working together, because in the end that's what they did. They accomplished it all together. It wasn't just Shepard that did it. They didn't need similar DNA or that thread to tie them all together. They could do it all. They could set their differences aside and they could achieve it all together. And then the synthesis kind of strips that, and I don't know. I
but
thought
what
that was
is
sad.
truly the negative impact of them being connected to one another? Aside from symbolic unique-ism, like you still have those unique traits, because obviously you still look different, you still have whatever. But what about that connecting thread that they all in the end sacrifice to make sure and ensure everyone's like alive and everything? You now all bear that same trauma, I guess, but you also now share that connectivity because we survived this together thanks to Shepard for making that ultimate sacrifice. So Shepard is, well, yeah, physically dies, but
I guess
that
in the beginning when I was presented with those choices, that one didn't sit well with me because of the whole consent, because like it's Shepard making this choice for all of these people. So then I was like, oh no, I can't. I don't feel comfortable making that decision for all these people.
There is no way that consent can be an issue now at this point in the game, considering everything else that Shepard has done that didn't involve consent. You guys just talked about how he wiped out an entire species, and although you're not sympathetic to who those species are because of their actions, without their consent, without anyone's real consent, Shepard made that decision to wipe them out, granted for the greater good. And in this situation, is it not the same?
I don't know.
I feel like we're reaching to justify our own biases here, but we got to be honest and plain and transparent that consent has not been an issue in the past. If you've played Shepard and made those decisions.
It's the same reason why I didn't want to reprogram the Geth. I guess I was just like, this is altering the fabric of who a person is, and I don't feel comfortable with that. I didn't want to blow up the relay either and kill all those Batarians, but that was literally the only option you had. But here you are then presented with three choices, and for me, synthesis was not an option, I suppose, I guess.
I think, honestly, all three choices sucked.
All
three choices.
All three of them sucked.
All of them literally had, like... And you had no time to, like, even be like, hey, Edie, what do you think? Because I'm going to kill you. Hey, Geth, what do you think? Because I'm going to kill you. You had no time. Like, by the time you had to make like a snap decision, just and Thanos style, and figure out if you're going to knock everybody out, or if you're going to synthesize everybody. Because I mean, honestly, controlling them is not an option for me. But it was so hard to make that decision, and I did not play for a while because I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of, and I was like reading all the forums and seeing what everybody else said and like what everybody else did. I'm like going through all of this shit trying to help me make a decision. And because it wasn't cut and dry like the Chargers. It wasn't cut and dry, like when you had to save the Arachnite Queen, that was cut and dry for
Yeah.
me. Save the bitch, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this was not cut and dry. Like it was so, I just think it was almost like too hard. I think it was honestly like the ending of this was too hard of an ending. Like, because it for me at least, I just felt like it was, I was so conflicted, and I was so, because I had the same thought as you. I was like, if I synthesize everybody, what if you have a horrible like hatred of either one of those, and now you're like one of them.
But now it makes everyone confront those biases, those prejudices, those, you know what I mean? And in order to form a more perfect union.
Ew. Ew. What are we going to establish justice?
The species, you know what I mean? Between all life in this galaxy. Now, you have to understand some context about the general decision-making, or my style is very utilitarian, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily make decisions based off of emotions or whatever. It's like, what makes the most amount of sense, does the greatest amount of good. The only exception is the Chargers. that bothered me so bad. That's the only time I went back and changed a decision like that.
Do you know why that bothered you so much though? I honestly figure, I thought about this a long time, why it bothered. It's because before you make that decision, you get to know them. You break bread with them. You are drinking with them. You see their relationship with Iron Bull, like, because you're doing all of these things, and then they ask you to make that decision.
I was under the impression that Iron Bull shared the same sentiments as us. Now, I know he loved his crew members and everything else, but I thought Iron Bull is a warrior. He's seen people die before. He understands strategic planning, you know what I mean, and decisions. And I thought he would understand if we made that.
And he does, to an extent.
But he does, but he's not like, he does because that is basically what he's supposed to do. And he knows that because the Qunari overall, the Qun overall. But he has a personal attachment to these people, and that still has an effect on him. And that's his whole struggle that he had with being loyal to the Qun, but also doing his own thing, that kind of like clinched him there. And that's where you basically decide for him whether he becomes a Tal Vashoth in his own person, or if he stays with the Qun, and then that can end up.
And that is why I had such a hard time with my decision in Mass Effect, because I was like, you have literally made me form a bond with EDI. You know, we have repaired a relationship with the Geth. You have given, I have made these decisions and these choices, and now these people are not, these things are not just things, they are more. Like if they didn't, if EDI was just a floating voice in the ship, if you never fixed your shit with the Geth, all it's like that, it wouldn't have been a problem. I'm like, destroy, goodbye. But to me, because they put real things behind it.
Yeah.
They're not casualties, just regular casualties.
Like, I am going to admit that I did choose the synthesis ending at some point because I wanted to see how it ended up, but I still didn't feel
it didn't sit right with you
doing it. To be fair, none of the endings sat right with me. Yeah. Like, all the options that we got were shit, but I guess that's kind of like why it was such a poignant choice, because it was not an easy choice to make. Like, it was gonna leave a bad taste in your mouth regardless of what you picked. So I think that's the point where it comes down to what kind of person you are. Like you said, you are more of like I forgot the word, stupid Belgian brain. But I guess like for some people would be more comfortable choosing the synthesis ending because they're like, that's the only logical option. For me, it didn't sit right. Like, none of them did, but for me, destroy made the most sense because like, this is what we set out to do. We set out to end this cycle, and that's what we're going to do.
There's no kazoos or balloons or any parties that happened after any of those decisions, for sure.
Unless you do like I do and you finish Mass Effect 3 and then you play the Citadel DLC and just pretend that everything is fine and that everything has been defeated and Shepard is alive and we just have a big party at the end.
So the last thing that rolls into is the announcement on the 11th of December of the
November
sequel.
And 7 Day. And 7 Day.
Well, in 7 Day, but then they released
the 7th of November.
Then they released the trailer.
Oh yeah, but they did.
On the
there
11th.
was going to be a new Mass Effect game.
Yes,
but we don't know much about it. So.
But what they said, so I was reading it. There's my memory because I kind of squealed a lot when they did that. But they said, from the way it looks, from the art they've released and stuff like that, it looks like they just went with the destroy. Like they're gonna go with that. That's what happened. Now you have to rebuild society after you have destroyed. That's what the running thing is from all of the devs who are on it. Kind of like they've been kind of like, oh, look at that, you know. Now, do I know? No. So I kind of wonder if they're going to put, if you have 3 separate options, or if you're going to even be able to import what you did. But then
I don't
also,
know if I
like,
can speculate on this because we didn't really get a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I just don't. I don't know. I honestly don't know where they're going to go with this. Is it going to be a sequel to Andromeda? Is it going to be a sequel to the trilogy?
So they flat out said it was not going to be a sequel to Andromeda because everybody hated Andromeda so much. That's why we won't even talk about it. It's not going to be in this episode because fuck that. I never even finished it. Fuck that game.
I did, and I enjoyed it kind of.
I did not at all. I hated picking the people for the. I hated the whole thing.
It could have been better if they had gotten more time, but because it was rushed, they really fucked it up, which is a shame. But
I know nothing
we can
of
talk
Andromeda.
about that
because I never played it,
except the reels of like the game glitches where the head is floating and the body is doing weird like Egyptian dances. I don't know.
It wasn't finished when they released it, but they wanted that quarterly revenue.
So what they're saying is they were going to take aspects of Andromeda that people liked, because Andromeda was a prequel anyway. But
the gameplay was great.
But they're going to do. So I was reading I was reading the tweet about it, whatever, because they were talking about it, and it's basically they're not sure if it's going to be a continuation, a kind of a time travel or whatever is. But I think the biggest thing, because they're doing that re-release this year, and I think that is gearing it up for a release for next year. I think that's the whole point, you know? I think the re-release, the remaster, there's no other reason to do it. You know what I mean? There's no reason to remaster it, really. But to do it, to remaster it and bring it back is so everybody can play again. And I think that is what the big push is. But like, because a lot of the tweets from the devs, and they're talking about, they're like, well, this is what we're doing, blah, 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 but it's all very kind of vague because they're not saying anything, but people are saying because of the pictures that were released. So like one of the tweets was, somebody said like, the opening shot has a very pointed imagery of 2 galaxies. My mind is racing. Are we going to get a single sequel to both games? And all they said was intentional. You know what I mean? Like, so they've been talking about it, like they're like, so then somebody said, so then they're like, wait, what? And they said, who knows, maybe not, but we show both for a reason. They said, like, they're telling you kind of that they're making this thing, because you know at the end of 3, you know, like when whoever you romanced has to put the name of the fallen, how they refuse to put your your person's name on there. They're like, they could still be alive. And that is something that they're also trying to say too, that they're all, but if they do the destroy option, that means that you don't have Edie or the Geth or anything like that. So who knows what they're going to do. And also all the mass relays were destroyed. Yes. So all of that is done. So they're not entirely sure. One of the quotes from this Polygon article was saying like, never mind that BioWare has already proven flexible enough to alter Mass Effect's controversial ending. But it's also possible that the narration of the teaser is just simply meant to bring people up to speed with the larger history of the series. Because in the teaser, you see Liara. Because, they don't age or die or whatever. So
yeah, and she was like the only Asari with eyebrows, apparently.
Oh, Lordy. But, so that's the thing. Like, I don't know. That is what I'm excited about. But I'm also kind of like, am I going to get this before I get Dragon Age? Which one am I going to get first?
I think Dragon Age is not going to be anytime soon.
Why do you keep dashing my dreams, Ava?
Because I'm familiar with Dragon Age, all right? I know how long I had to wait for fucking 3 to come out. And I just know that...
But 3 came out, like, what, 2014 or something stupid like that? Or
yeah, it's already been 6 years, so...
What's the average timetable between games?
I think
not
between
this long.
Origins and Mass Effect 1, between Origins and Dragon Age 2, I think it was like less than a year.
And then between Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age 3, I think
it was a long time.
I don't think it was this long, though.
Well, I'm okay with either because I had to wait for Kingdom Hearts 3, and that was like 15 years, so it's fine.
Now I'm gonna look it up real quick before we end. And now I must know how long was the difference between the two. Okay,
at the very top it says it.
All right, so Dragon Age 2 was released in 2011, and then Inquisition was released in 2014.
So 3 years.
It was only 3 years, as opposed to the 6.
It's almost 7 now.
That we are rolling on waiting for the fucking next one. And I was like, if you weren't going to do it, then don't say shit.
But my thing is...
And quit releasing books.
The quicker... Is it always better, though? Isn't Andromeda...
Well, I mean, from 2 to 3 was amazing.
After Andromeda, I would rather they take their time.
Exactly.
Honestly, true. Andromeda hurt my soul.
I just feel like...
I just felt really bad for the devs as well. Like, they put in a lot of work and they wanted it to be good. Then they were rushed, and then it was a disaster upon release. With, day one patch after day one patch after day one patch to fix issues that shouldn't have been broken. And because, like, these weren't bugs. These were missing animations, broken textures. Like, this shouldn't have been shipped like that. But EA wanted that quarterly revenue. So, yeah.
So apparently development of Dragon Age 4 was started in 2015. It originally tended to be a smaller, more narrative-focused based game set in the Tevinter Imperium, which would make sense because, bring back Dorian.
But you do also have to keep in mind that they shuffled a lot of people around for, like, Andromeda and Anthem, so it probably got delayed by, like, a bunch. And now a lot of the key people who worked on Dragon Age and Mass Effect are gone.
This is true, but they're bringing people back, which is nice too.
I saw that they brought in someone who worked on World of Warcraft and Blizzard, and I'm like, I swear to God, if you make this an online multiplayer game, I will end you.
I think that they won't do it because they know.
I mean,
they have
look
to
at
know.
the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Look at the Dragon Age 3 multiplayer. Like, who even played that?
I never played it. I refuse.
Like, this is an RPG. I don't want multiplayer in my single-player narrative game. Just leave me alone to enjoy my fantasy world in peace. I don't want fucking PogChamp69 to walk into my keep while I'm trying to have a good time. Can you fucking not?
I don't play multiplayer games for a fucking reason, and I don't want to talk to people. I don't want you having to, even when I was playing Borderlands and you can play multiplayer, but it's not that kind of multiplayer. Like they're in the game with you to help you with your mission or whatever.
Yeah.
Even then I was like, bro, we got to go this direction.
Look, if I want to play a multiplayer game, I will boot up an MMO. I will beat up Final Fantasy XIV, which you should play, by the way. It's really good, and it's free now up to level 60, which includes the first expansion pack, Heavensward. So that's like 2 packs for free. Try it out. It's really fun. But I'll play something like that. I'll play Final Fantasy. I'll play World of Warcraft. If I want to play with other people, I will do that. And even if I play those games, I still don't play with other people. Just don't push multiplayer in a single player RPG. Like, those stories are made to make you feel like the hero, like you're the only one who can save the world. That is literally the point of those games, so leave it like that.
Like, I just want to play on my couch by myself while Ada sits next to me and makes me make command decisions.
And me in her ear telling her she missed the blood lotus over there. Please go pick it.
Yep.
Like,
Go
she's
pick it up.
oh my god, she's forever like, but what is that elf fruit? Go pick up the elf. I don't.
You missed an elf fruit.
Yeah.
You missed one.
That's probably the only
that's why
times I'll play is whenever I know she's not going to want to do those details. So when she's gone, I'll like log in and pick all the little flowers and herbs and stuff, and then log off. Like,
except for that one time that she played an elf and she tried to romance Dorian, and then she forgot.
we don't speak of that.
And then she fucked up. And
so I pulled my little brother. I decided, let's just go for it. And I forever romanced Dorian. He was such a tough nut to crack at for a while. And then I don't know who I went and flirted with just one time. And I went back to talk to Dorian, and Dorian was like, you thought. It was straight cold shoulder after that. Dorian did not fuck with me.
Oh, no. You do not fuck around with Dorian.
No, he was way spicy.
Yeah, that's the same thing that happens with my cats. Like, when I give too much attention to Tally, he will be fucking mad. Like, he will bite me in the elbow and then leave.
Oh, rude.
He really lives up to his name, the little shit.
but no, I've never romanced with one person at a time. Like, oh, you missed.
I could never romance Dorian because I never play as a dude. But you should romance Bull,
because you can. Romancing Bull is my favorite.
Yeah,
because for the first, because you can bang Bull without romancing Bull.
Yeah,
but then when you do actually turn it to a romance.
Everybody walks in on you. Like, everybody walks in on you, and everybody's like, oh, wow, that's a Canary dong. And it's just so, like, Cullen tries not to look and keeps, like, his little, like, his hands before his face. He's like, oh no.
Like, it's so funny. Like, people, like, what is it when Alistair walks in or whatever? Cullen walks in, and Cullen's like,
finding out Cullen was like,
oh, Inquisitor,
virgin?
Can we,
Was like,
oh yeah, Cullen
was a virgin.
Was he?
Yeah, he was a virgin. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. Him. I know he made. I know he like says like, no, I never made those vows, but I didn't know he was a virgin.
Mm-hmm.
I know Alistair was, but
both
not
of them
Cullen.
were. Yep.
It was awkward. And now you feel like the creep who's...
because every time you make any kind of like romantic advance towards him, he gets all like, oh man,
I'm gonna Google this.
You can't love me because I'm addicted to lyrium, and he like flings it off the table.
Romancing Blackwood is also awkward. That
Blackwall?
I'm sorry, Blackwall, where he pushes you against the, like, I don't know. It was just like, can we not do this? It was so awkward. And his proportions to you are really weird too, because his head is like the size of your torso, and you don't realize that until that scene. Like, how is this possible?
Oh, okay. It says here that Cullen isn't a virgin at the start of Dragon Age Inquisition. His writer deliberately left it ambiguous if Cullen was with someone else before the Inquisitor. And sure, he wasn't a virgin at the start of Inquisition in my... Oh, that's a fic. But I've
Are you sure? I could have sworn he said it. What'd she say?
She's looking at fanfic? What is this?
No, it's a blog post.
I could have sworn he was.
He was virginal AF. Like, soups. Awkward.
It says it's been kept ambiguous, so I don't
he's virgin.
know.
I don't care what they say.
The way he acted to any of your advances,
it made no sense for a grown man that's been to war and done what he's done to literally stutter and blush and be a complete ako taco anytime something sexual arose.
I'm still laughing at when I was playing back through the original games, and I saw Cullen being in the freaking circle when he was in the circle and he was trapped, and he was all like, he's like, I hate that. He's like, was he naked trapped?
No.
In the circle? No, but he was in the circle. He was in the circle.
Yeah, he was trapped by the demons, and he was like, you have to get the rite of annulment and like kill them all. because
Yeah.
he had literally been tortured over and over and over again with the deaths of his comrades. So yeah, poor baby.
And then you see him again in Dragon Age Inquisition, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Remember that scene
You
where
see
he
him in Dragon
lost the
Age 2
game?
as well. He's the knight captain there.
Oh yeah, he's popping up.
He's Commander Meredith's second in command, and that's where he goes. That's the point where he's more like, no, mages are bad. Mages are bad. But then he sees Meredith go crazy, and he's like, no, what she's doing is wrong, and I'm not chill with that. And then fights her with you, which is fun. And then he has like his big redemption in Dragon Age 3, possibly.
When you stab,
I always romance him, so
look. I romanced him the first time, and then I wanted to change it up. So then I romanced Blackwall. I romanced Iron Bull, who's still my favorite romance.
he's such a great romance.
But honestly, Cullen's romance is the one I took all the way through the end. Whenever he's my first playthrough, so he's my first romance. I took all the way to in the cutscene at the end.
Oh, so pretty.
So cute with your lack of arms.
Too bad. Too bad his voice actor is a fucking piece of garbage.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Who?
Yeah,
The guy who voices Cullen is like a super big like Trumper or something.
No, he's not a Trumper.
Not
but
a Trumper.
He's an All Lives Matter. So
yeah, he's shit.
Right,
but anywho, so that was Mass Effect.
He did this
all the way
whole
through the
video in character in his Cullen voice explaining his views, and people were just like, "No, buddy, you need to get some help." But yeah, that was Mass Effect.
That was Mass Effect. It was. I am super excited for the remaster. I will definitely be playing it through, even though I just really hate Mass Effect 1. I don't hate Mass Effect 1. It's like when I replay through Origins. It's like there are certain scenes that I was just like, certain like quests. I'm just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, there are certain things in Mass Effect 1 that I want to like just skip as well, like all of Noveria. Fuck Noveria. Do not want. That's like capitalist Valhalla there. It's just corporations, corruption. Do not like.
I'm hoping that I haven't played Mass Effect 1 in a while, so hoping that like it'll be like, especially because it'll be remastered, so the graphics are gonna look amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go again. We're gonna give it a shot. I played all the way through. Because when I played Mass Effect 2, my save for Mass Effect 1 wasn't there, so I had to just like do a default, and they didn't save the queen.
Oh no.
Always save the queen.
Always save the Rachni queen.
It's very important in Mass Effect 2 if you save the queen. But yes, so I want to play through again and like actually make command decisions, and I really want to say I'll save Ashley instead of Kaden, but I probably won't.
Was there anything special about Ashley to save?
You could romance her.
It's who you want to romance, that's all.
But like, Kaden had those powers. What did Ashley have?
Ashley was
guns.
So basically, because I never used Kaden in my actual
I mean, I
team,
suppose if you want to look at it from a pure perspective of team builds, if you played a biotic, you really didn't have a need for Kaden, and if you played a soldier, you would. But that's only from that perspective. But they were the only two romance options, so.
Yeah, I played as the hybrid one, so I had no need for Kaden really. So I kept him around to romance him. But now I'm thinking like, because he's your only romance option. If you want to carry romance all the way through.
Okay.
But I'm kind of thinking I want to try somebody else.
Well, I'll definitely be there for your playthrough.
I know you will.
/our
And I want to
playthrough.
be kept posted.
Oh, you will. You'll be kept posted on our playthrough. I still need to play through the end of Dragon Age, so she can watch the end with the Dread Wolf and fucking all that chat. So I want to sit through that with her too.
Another game that I have strong opinions about is Dragon Age. I know that y'all normally do the next time Dragon Age comes up, I want to talk about that.
We've got
for sure.
She's got some, but I think all of us have very strong opinions about Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Like, very
I
strong
think maybe
ones.
once we get some more information on Dragon Age 4, we can do another one of these and then go ham on speculating on what we can what we can expect.
Like, I have so many strong opinions, and I fucking hate Solus, and I will never forgive him for that fucking okey doke at the end when he just
When you told me there were people that liked Solus, I was like, no.
Her brain could not compute the like of Solus.
I like him as a character.
You know why? Because she hasn't seen the final.
Oh yeah, you haven't seen the final Trespasser thing, but I think he's an amazing character. I have played both playthroughs where he was my friend, and I have played a playthrough where I romanced him, which is just an extra double punch in the gut. As a character, he is phenomenally well written, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do with him in 4, especially after Trespasser. So, Addis, fucking park your keister next to Vanity on the couch, and you guys get to playing Trespasser, because this is something that we are going to have to discuss.
When I played Trespasser, it hurt. It hurt, but it answered some questions, but it still hurt, because Solus pops up in Trespasser at the end. He comes back. And he's all like, hey, about that orb. And you're like, fucker, the whole fucking time you're over here acting like I did all this shit for you. Everything for you. And you're over here like with your bald ass like,
oh yeah. I was going off on Solus.
Because he's already annoying enough because he's only about him.
Look, all I can say is that I understand his reasoning, but it still doesn't make it right.
I stomached him the first playthrough. I was like, okay, he just needs a bit of, somebody to listen to him. He's, not used to getting this opportunity to talk about what he knows. This is his love language. I get it. Okay.
And especially if you like play an elf, because he's like, oh no, you elves aren't like real elves. As an elf, I was intrigued because I was like, okay, tell me more. You're basically telling me that everything I know is wrong, but then like tell me what it is like, because I wanted to see his perspective.
He's like, oh, you're letting me talk about stuff I know, like you. That's the only times you ever get him to like you. It's just I was like, okay, whatever. And then after that I was just like, nah, fuck Solus, fuck where he came from, fuck his set, fuck his crew, everything. I don't like this guy. Him and his egghead can go somewhere. I don't like him.
Well, hopefully in Dragon Age 4 we will have the choice to make some omelets.
I don't want his, I'm telling you at the beginning, I do not want a redemption arc for him. I don't want him to come back and be like, I'm sorry. But especially after you watch Trespasser, you're like, I don't want your fucking redemption arc.
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
I got you.
Okay, but we're gonna have to call it here because we're almost at 2 hours.
Yeah, we're calling it.
This is a long one.
It is a long one.
Once we get started, it is very difficult to stop. Also, my cat is licking the butter, and I need to go and kick his ass. So,
fucking
we're
Dorian.
gonna call it here. It is fucking Dorian. Your mustache does not need waxing, sir.
All right. Well,
all right. We're gonna call it here. But thank you guys so much for joining us for this bonus episode.
It's been so much fun.
If you zoned out midway, we get it. 2 hours is long. But we love talking about this. We're not gonna cut it. But we can always talk about Dragon Age and Mass Effect, and now we have a third buddy to talk Dragon Age and Mass Effect with. So this is definitely going to be a recurring theme.
So thank you, Addis, for joining us on Bob.
Thank you for having me.
It's good times. And if you guys want more, you let us know. You're like, fuck, no more.
Like you can let us know, but we're gonna do it anyways.
Oh yeah, we're doing it anyway. But if you want it, then that's fine too. But
definitely gives us more encouragement. But we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.